It hit us like a pile of bricks.
17,000 California non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses were revoked by U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. These licenses are specific to people who do not live in California, but operate here on work permits.
We discovered, and we reported this about a month ago, that many of these non-domiciled CDLs, the commercial driver's licenses that were given to foreigners, they were issued unlawfully.
Duffy said the Department of Transportation discovered multiple issues, including licenses given to illegal immigrants, a person having no driver's license at all, and drivers who do not meet the English language requirements.
Who is taking drivers in, seeing if they speak English, and then testing them on basic skills that would allow them to be certified to then go to the DOT to get a license?
Governor Gavin.
And I don't know why this is a big conversation piece. And I do know why. Part of it is because California is a sanctuary state. And in California, they believe that you don't need to learn how to speak English in order to drive. As long as you're able to see that there's an S and that looks like a stop sign, they're good to go. Now, some signs are universal. We have to realize that. Some signs, any country you go to, you may not have the same word, but you have the same color, design, and it's understood to be the same thing. But that's still not enough to put somebody on the road. And they're wrong for thinking that that's okay. Even if you run a sanctuary state, you still got to have standards for people getting jobs, and they don't have that.
Newsom posted on X, accusing the transportation secretary of spreading falsehoods to please the president. A spokesperson for the governor said that all 17,000 drivers had legal presence and had been granted work authorization by the federal government. One Fresno trucking school reports feeling the effects of this battle.
Came Monday, we had absolutely no students.
And works to comply with state and federal regulations.
They show us their legal work documents, they show us their visas or their work permits that are issued by the government, and that's what we go by.
We spoke with Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, and they said both sides are to blame.
We don't do the proper things to make sure folks we put behind the wheel have the proper training, have the proper licenses, have the proper language skills. We're not doing any of these things. We're just turning folks loose on the highway, for lack of better terms, and hoping that bad things don't happen.
One truck driver in training encourages any new drivers to get proper instruction.
Take all of your tests, take your tests on time to make sure you understand what you're doing. And hopefully when you go back and do your exam, you're ready to go and you're that much safer on the road.
That's the problem. So when you hear them arguing and Gavin Newsom takes the stance that, oh, you're being racist and you're being biased, and he's doing what he believes his constituents wants him to do. And they're mostly composed of people that aren't from this country or are from this country and they don't know any better. They don't. Most of them are, we know what California is right now, is a republic in itself, and they have their own rules. But when you're shipping freight to other countries, to other states, you should have a level of standard, because those guys are going to go, those drivers are going to leave your state, and then they're going to travel over to Nevada, you're going to travel to Colorado, to Washington, and God forbid, and we've seen it already, that they get in an accident on the road. Like the guy who was driving the truck and did a U-turn, and a family just died. The whole car load just obliterated, died, crashing into his car. He was an immigrant, did not have the permits to actually work here, didn't understand the language, but he got a CDL to actually drive. So when you're sitting back and you're advocating for rights for illegal immigrants to work in our country, which I do believe we do need, and we should have a pathway for them to work. But this is not the way, because you should know how to speak English. You should know how to you should understand what you're saying. You should know how to write English, and you should definitely know what these signs that show up mean. If you don't know what a stop sign means, you shouldn't be driving an 18-wheeler. If you have no idea what a yield sign means. Don't drive near me. So we fight this stupid behind fight against common sense because we feel so insecure and so we feel like we're doing injustice to somebody. We're wrong. We're wronging them. We're wronging them. No, there needs to be a standard. And you know, I hold the right and the left accountable in this because yeah, Gavin Newsom has been doing it. California's been blazing with it, but we got to realize too that the right also had an opportunity to address these issues when they first started, and they didn't do it. And we still do have people on the right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who have businesses and they already feel the lack, they already are suffering from the lack of good labor because of the Trump crackdowns, okay? Because of that. And it needs to happen. And it wouldn't, I don't think it would be this bad if we had actually dealt with it when it initially started to rise. And when you have sides that fight each other, nobody wins. The guys with the CDL drivers, who knows, some of them could just be legit, have the visa, they could work here, they did the CDL, but something showed up that was wrong. We want them to be able to work. But God knows this is not going to be a long profession. Because if you check out my video having to do with driverless cars, driverless trucks, you'll see already that within the next 10 years, possibly, this is going to be a profession that's gone. It's going to be a nowhere profession. Nobody is going to want that. So a lot of these immigrants that are here, whether they're here legally or illegally, well, legally to work and illegally to work, that situation needs to be addressed. You do them harm and you also do harm by the American citizens. And the reason I dislike Gavin, man, is Newsom is a Newsom because I don't believe he really cares about the American people. He doesn't care about at least his American constituents that live in California. He may say he does, but when you put people on the road that don't even speak the language, then it is what it is. I mean, you get what you get, you know? You get what you get, Gavin.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, that's it. Get what you get.